Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DreamHack Open 2015 Stockholm, where we are moving our way through the round of 16. Of course, our next matchup is going to be Reality versus Jaedong. It's been a great day of StarCraft action here as we are closely getting to the point where we're going to find out who will be playing on the main stage tomorrow in the top 8. Hello, I am Nathanius. Joining me is Sean, #1 caster Clark, and Roddy, # Roddy in the club, Vanderkoy. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing over there?
You know, something just came over me.
You had a hard time doing that there.
Yeah, it's you know, it's a lot difficult trying to fill your shoes. It's tough, man.
It's kind of more difficult to fill your shoes, mate. They're so small.
I wear 11 size shoes, man. That's pretty big.
I have no idea what's going on today, and also I'm not sure what is worse, Roddy the #1 Twitch streamer or Roddy in the club, because both are just absolutely awful hashtags.
I like # Roddy as a hottie, but to be honest,
we can bring it back. We can bring it back.
No.
For those of you who are just tuning in, welcome, welcome. We have mostly resolved the round of 16. Except we're gonna have another Terran versus Zerg. We just saw Fantasy take quite a spanking from Hyun. Any final thoughts on that series? That wouldn't hurt to watch as a Terran.
I said a lot with Todd, so you can have some thoughts, mate.
I mean, I was very surprised by the last game because on Iron Fortress, yeah, no, sorry, that's a Gordon Ramsay joke over there. But at first, you know, I thought the hold was very good at first, and I was like, okay, yes, he lost a lot of SCVs, but he's only down 17 workers. It's 3 CCs against a 2-base Zerg. I thought it was manageable, and he kind of turned it into a real game.
I just keep thinking about what.
But then,
are you okay?
Yeah. I'm fine. That's too much.
No, okay, but then in that final attack, it's okay. Hyun does have a lot. And then, like, okay, there were absolutely no splits, like you mentioned it as well. And I was like, okay, that's not a good start of that final engagement. And then there were a bunch of Marines that ran out of the Nature and they just ran head first into a bunch of Banelings. And I just really didn't know what was going on anymore. So.
I think a lot of it comes down as well to preparing for and studying an opponent. You talked about it in game number 2. You're playing versus Hyun.
I feel a really awkward position in between this.
Apollo, you know that Hyun's going to be aggressive. You said it. He sent his Banshee across the map. He didn't do any form of scouting. He should have been able to tell with the Reaper and Hellion that the third base was pretty late. And I mean, I'm honestly expecting a different series. You're moving again to Reality versus Jaedong. Neither of these players competing for Delicious points. What's at stake the most to you guys? To me, it's the last Terran player in the tournament. If he gets eliminated, you know, I know some hearts out there will be broken.
I thought you were going to say what's on stake at the moment. I'm going, our jobs, the way this is going. It ain't going very well.
Guys, this is my first DreamHack since Winter 2012, man. Like, keep it together, you know. I want to make a reappearance over here.
The best part is Adebisi's been away all day at the venue. He comes back and is like, all right, boys, how's it going? Comes in, looks at this, and it's a complete disaster.
It's a madhouse. It's a madhouse.
Yeah, so. It is. What's the line between Jaedong and Reality? Prize money, to be honest, because that's where they are in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's not so much about the points, and of course, the chance to play on stage in front of the Swedish crowd, which Jaedong's had before and has loved it before. Reality has really never had anything like that. So, and you've heard all the interviews from players that have gone there, done it for the first time. Come on, stay with me, man. That have done it for the first time, they really enjoy it, and it's something really fun, and that's something that DreamHack's really good at doing when we get to that stage.
I must say, like, I have no idea where Reality suddenly comes from. Like, I actually had to look him up on Wikipedia. I was like, okay, I know the name, but when is the last time he made it out to a foreign tournament? And that's years ago, if ever, you know. Like, I went back, and you can scroll back a year, and then the only thing you see is that, yes, he participates in Pro League, doesn't play a whole lot in Pro League, to be honest. Like, I'm sure a couple games here and there.
Same with Armani, too.
It's a very random show-up by him. I mean, it's cool, and obviously we need him right now, because he's the last Terran standing, so I will embrace him over here. But yeah, Reality. Well, okay, let's see what he brings to the show.
Do you know why the reason Nathanius is hosting is because they got all the players that were playing in this tournament, threw in the players to the prediction on a League Rack to see who would get where, and they realized that come to the round of 16 and round of 8, there's only going to be one Terran. So they thought, well, Nathanius is better suited over this side of the desk.
I didn't want to spend the whole entire time casting PvZ, to be honest, either way. But let's find out if the last Terran is going to remain alive. It's going to be Reality versus Jaedong, brought to you by Apollo and Roddy.
And here we are, ready for Reality versus Jaedong. Nathanius has left the desk. It's back to sanity on the analysis desk here at DreamHack Open as Jaedong takes on Reality in a best-of-3 to decide who will get to the top 8 of DreamHack Open here in Stockholm to see who will play in front of the live Swedish audience tomorrow.
Jaedong's still looking for that first DreamHack victory, correct? He made it to the final at least once against Hyun, like you guys mentioned, and he came close multiple times, but he's never won one.
Yeah, it was Hyun. We talked about it before.
Yeah, you guys were right.
Okay, I thought so. And also Stardust as well.
Yep.
Remember that too. So he's made a couple of finals before. He's had a couple of good runs at DreamHacks in the past. But yeah, still missing that win, which he would like to grab. And it would be a nice kind of, sorry you couldn't qualify for BlizzCon last week, but here's a DreamHack trophy and a bit of money and a...
Yeah, it's kind of funny because we went into Poland and I was pretty hopeful about Jaedong's chances in WCS Premier League Season 3. Of course, winning it was always going to be a long shot, but I was kind of liking what I saw from Jaedong, especially in the Hell It's a Boot Time tournament. He was the runner-up again, poor guy, but he played very well in the finals, even though he lost it. I felt in the macro games he had the upper edge against Hyun, and to me he came across a little more solid, and a couple of unfortunate build order starts, and I was like, okay, you know, let's see how well he does in Poland. And then he lost in the winner bracket match against Lilbao. I didn't like a couple of the late game decisions he made, but I was like, all right, it can happen, you know. Let's see how he does against 4GG. You kind of know what to expect.
Do that well at all. Really,
yeah, no, he really didn't do that well. And like, I hate to say it about Jaedong, but it was kind of an ugly series. It just didn't really make a whole lot of sense. So I hope we see a more inspiring Jaedong today. And I'm kind of torn over here because, as you know, I'm not the biggest Terran fan in the world, but I would love to see at least one Terran make it into the top 8. But at the same time, I can't possibly cheer against this man that's spawning in the right bottom side.
Yeah, that's it's Jaedong. There's the red Zerg down here, who would like that DreamHack win, a couple of steps at a time. And I think there's a lot of pressure off his back for once. I mean, there's always pressure on Jaedong. Can he get to BlizzCon? Can he do this? Can he do that? But I think a lot of it is revealed because it's just already over for him and he's here just to have a lot of fun.
I mean, one of the other things we said that 2014 wasn't the best year of Jaedong's career, but 2015 definitely hasn't been the best year of Jaedong's career. So he has a lot to fight for. This man over here in the left top side of Iron Fortress, he too has a lot to fight for because he doesn't get a whole lot of chances to travel, and I'm sure he would love to do it more often. It is Samsung's reality.
Sitting next to his dear friend here, Armani.
Armani, yes. For a second, I was like, that's Solo. I was like, no, wait, that's not Solo, that's Armani.
It is an interesting... We mentioned it. We're like, why are they here?
Yeah.
In all honesty, it was like, why is Armani in reality here? They don't play for BlizzCon. They're not... And the thing is, for a lot of people that may not realize why we're saying it, is Casper players don't really travel. Of course, both of them being on Samsung. They don't really travel to international events unless there's a reason to go to it.
Or unless they actually like do super well in Korea, and it's like, okay, if you send out those guys, they will most likely get top 3 guaranteed. Yeah. If I look at this playoff bracket, I'm not saying that Reality is going to make a final or even a semi-final appearance over here. It's possible, and I hope he surprises me. I hope I'm wrong, but let's just see, man. I'm excited.
It feels like the coach of Samsung was like, all right, well, Solar's going to go. You guys go have fun with him.
Yes. You know, make sure that he stays well hydrated. Make sure he makes to the final again. And
but if you guys get to the final, that's good too.
This reminds me of that one tournament we had in Sao Paulo where the coach of CJ Entus participated in the open bracket because he looked at it and he's like, well, this is actually a doable tournament. Everybody who makes it to group stage gets $400. And the coach signed up and he qualified as well.
Dinner's on me, boys.
Yeah.
Opening's pretty standard here. Command center first, then barracks gas have been put down, where it is a hatchery, spawning pool, and then gas for the Zerg Jaedong.
So what do you know about Reality's TvZ, Sean? Is he a Mac player? Is he bio-pure Sang? Is it a mixture of both? Does it depend on spawning locations? Does it depend on the maps?
To be honest, his games, because he has not been televised recently, I haven't seen him play for a very, very long time. But when I did see him play, when he was playing a lot more in Pro League and other Korean leagues, he used to play mech in this matchup.
Okay, well then there's almost no reason to change. Even though Hyun looked very good early today in that previous series against Fantasy on Terraform, there were moments where I felt Fantasy could have taken control of that map as well. You know, Hyun was pretty broke at a certain point, didn't really have a whole lot going for himself. You mentioned it, that first attack up the high ground near the third base, that didn't really go all that well. So don't worry, all you mech fans out there, don't worry, Artosis. Mech is still alive and you can definitely still win with it. Just gonna have to do it a little bit different than Fantasy did.
Yeah, it's definitely super successful in recent StarCraft 2 gameplay. And Reality being a mech player of the past, I'm sure there's not going to be any reason for him not to do it here. So we'll see what he does choose. Obviously hasn't chosen it yet.
Now, he didn't know that he was going to play Jaedong. This is not something he knew weeks in advance. If he did, he could, of course, taken a look at those VODs of 4G versus Jaedong. But there's a good chance he was watching that anyway. You know, there wasn't any other StarCraft going on in that moment. And most of the Koreans, even though they don't watch it super close, they do watch WCS. You know, they like to stay up to date about what's going on in the foreign scene. So there's a good chance that Reality did see 4GG play against Jaedong and that he picked up a thing or two.
Absolutely. And if you picked up a thing or two, you'll notice some weaknesses and be able to bring it to the table. But third command center's been put down here in the wall, but it's not going to get scouted. Zerglings are at the front door, but 2 Marines have shot them down. And it's completely in the dark for JD.
Yeah, I mean, he did see the orbital command go down, so that's something. He knows he's playing against a triple CC opening, of course. Oh, what?
No, he didn't see anything.
What? The Lynx didn't see that?
No.
Oh, that one Ling was so nearby. I guess he can still get it confirmed real soon, especially because he has Zergling speed, so he can take another poke in the front. Overlord checks the main base, and normally you expect to find a command center over there, but he's not going to see it.
Doesn't know anything. Hasn't any information whatsoever gathered there. Sees the reactor and something Tech Lab building there. Doesn't really know exactly what's going on, so it is in the dark at the moment.
Well, that could be a tell of Cloak Banshees. Might be worth throwing down a Spore in case you have to worry about it.
Well, he's gone 2-base Spire anyway. Like, that's his overall choice.
Oh, okay, then you can just defend with Overseers.
Overseers, Queens. Yep.
I'm curious to see what we're going to see over here from Jaedong, though, because he definitely needed to fix something about how he approaches this matchup after we saw the games he played against 4GG. But Jaedong has shown us in the past that, you know, in 1 week he can look absolutely hopeless against a certain style, and then suddenly he just figured it out. Remember 2013 when he just couldn't beat Protoss until his life would depend on it? Yeah. Then he went to BlizzCon and he defeated Deer, who was pretty much the best player in the world up to that point, because he just won GSL, he won the Season 3 finals in Canada, and then Jaedong was able to upset him in the semi-finals.
4 Hellions just on the edge of creep. 3 Queens protecting the run through towards the mineral line.
I like the double eBay going down for Reality as well. He knows he has absolutely nothing to worry about when it comes to aggression from Jaedong. He knows that third base is very late. He didn't see any other units, so just play as greedy as possible. 3CC, double eBay before Rex number 2 and 3. Ooh. Why not?
Nice scout there. Doesn't see what that other Tech Lab is. Probably, with it upgrading is more than likely going to be, you know, in its stim, but he does see that a Banshee is very possible at this point. So he does have quite a lot of Queens out, so they're going to be the key defense. Also sees that it is not Cloak, by the way that the Tech Labs were around. So no need for Spore Crawlers, just good positioning.
Yeah, I guess Reality realizes as well this, like you mentioned, it was a 2-base Spire build by Jaedong, and there's almost no need to go Cloak Banshees against that. It's very rarely that you're going to be able to do a whole lot with your Cloak upgrade. This Banshee will find a couple of drones that are exposed, so that's something that the Reality could work with, but nice reaction there by Jaedong, only ends up losing a single drone.
And Reality's got to be very careful. He should know, like you said, that he is playing against 2-base Spire. So he's got to be careful of his turrets.
How many Zerglings do we currently have on the map?
18.
Okay, that should be enough on creep to get us around on these Hellions with a couple of Queens as well. But this is still a moment where Jaedong has to be a little bit worried. The Banshee could potentially pull the Queens out of position. And if those Hellions get a good volley off on the Lynx before they start...
Well, Lynx are in the middle of the map here, and Reality does see. He goes and chases them down, though.
That's really good news, though, for Jaedong, because now he's spotted all these Hellions while keeping his Lynx alive, and that's very important.
And it's not mech, it is going to be bio, as we can see in the production tab, but the Mutalisks are on the way. And Stim finishing up all these upgrades connecting together.
I guess that's good news for Jaedong, because we know that he's, at least last week, he wasn't a star against mech. But this is cross-map Iron Fortress, so if there would be one position where I could say, alright Jaedong, I believe in you against mech, it would probably be cross-map Iron Fortress.
Creep spread's looking okay so far. It's not really been denied at all. Jaedong has Overlord, by the way, on that south third base, and just kind of spreading creep to protect that and defend it, but obviously his opponent's expanded to the other one. But Mutalisks are out.
Do we have any evolution chambers yet on the map? I don't believe we do, right?
No.
Interesting. So there is maybe a chance that Jaedong is going to try to shut down that first push and then just counterattack with a lot of Lynx and Banes. Absolutely. Of course, it's a very risky move. The longer he delays these evolution chambers, the more he will be committed to doing some serious economic damage, because you never want to end up where you're fighting 2-2 bio and you have 0-0 upgrades. Now, that's not something we see very often in this matchup, but if we do, well... most of the time the game ends right there. Look at all the amount of Lynx in the production tab now. Do you think he's just going to go for it?
Seems like it, Roddy. You kind of nailed it with the lack of evolution chambers. Seems so. So, going to be an interesting couple of moments here for Reality. He's got a couple of units. He's going to take down one Mutalisk.
I think 2 or 3 there even. Yeah, two went down. Jaedong did pick off one Widow Mine, but I don't think...
Is this going to work, though? Reality's starting to power up with his 1-1 upgrades coming in. Combat shields should be done in time as well for this.
Yeah, I mean, Jaedong needs to do so much over here because 2-2 is on the way. And by the time that this massive battle ends, 2-2 is pretty much going to be done. And Jaedong still has absolutely no evolution chambers. Yeah. He's getting a 4th hatchery as well. So the production abilities from Jaedong is going to be insane. But
yeah, it's a complete run over. It's a complete massive attack here. Dedicated from Jaedong. Will it work or will it fail? At the moment, there's nothing at home. There's not much defense at all. It's in the air. It's in the skies. And there's also the other half in the middle of the map here. So this could work out well for JD.
Yeah, this is especially good for Jaedong. If Reality really commits to this and ends up losing a bunch of bio units, you know that Jaedong is just going to counterattack immediately and pretty much all in. Jaedong wants to see these units, makes their way across the map. He's going to absolutely murder this army because he has so many units himself. Yeah. There are still those 2 medevacs that are, I think, heading towards the main base. Reality, you got to have to hit real quick, man, because this army is going to run across the map and it's coming for you.
Yeah, and as you can see, there's not really much here. There's a handful of Marines, a couple of Widowmines. They're going to be nice, though, depending on where they're burrow. They can do a lot of damage, and they're going to get into good position. 2 medivacs at the south, though. That is the counterattack plan of Reality.
He has nothing at the north, though, and that is an issue.
3 Widowmines. 1 Zergling goes in, and it's probably going to trigger. It doesn't trigger it, and here we go. A couple more Zerglings do spread off. 2 Widowmines go down. The other one gets taken out, so a lot of these Banelings are just going to go rolling in, and there's absolutely nothing here with so many more Zergling and Banelings running through.
Yep, the majority of the army of Reality is actually Reality's on the other side of the map. Banelings connecting with a lot of these SCVs. They will go down, but Jaedong needs to do more than just a little bit of economic damage. He needs to absolutely crush and demolish and cripple Reality over
with
here.
This, the spawning pool going down, and the only thing he's building is Zerglings.
I actually don't think this is going to be enough for Jaedong. Like, yes, he's doing a lot over here. Those mines, though, they connected with so many Banelings. I think this is going well for Reality, man. Without a spawning pool, what is Jaedong going to do? Yeah, make Mutalisk then, I guess, but he's not really mining a whole lot.
And remember, the 2-2 upgrades are getting very close to finishing. It's going to be 2-2 versus Zerglings that can't do anything against it.
Even right now, look at these 1-1 Marines. They're just murdering so many of these links. They're just sitting there in that choke point. The Marines or the Queen's helping out a little bit as well. But
and look at this, he's got so much left over. Jaedong's attack did not work, and a successful defense there from Reality. And Jaedong tried something cool. It looked pretty fancy, and it could have been awesome, but it wasn't.
Just had absolutely nothing at home, and if you just had a couple of Banelings at home, the Queen's in one position, the spawning pool is going to get sniped again. Banelings will finally clean up this drop, but not before. Reality is pushing Jaedong back on the left top side of the map. And yes, Reality lost an orbital command. That hurts, but that doesn't change the fact that we're looking at 56 army supply against 36, and that's going to be it for Jaedong. Thank you, Tasteless.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here, guys. And good start there for Reality. Interesting choice of strategy from Jaedong. It's actually something he has used in the past.
I mean, like, I understand the idea behind it, right? Because it's kind of hard for a Terran to scout the evolution chambers. That's not something you always be looking for. Like, maybe if you're truly in the zone and you're really on top of everything and you're thinking of everything, you might pick up on the fact, like, hey, this guy doesn't have evo chambers, you know? But it's still kind of hard. I felt this was almost an ideal scenario for Jaedong because he completely demolished the army that was kind of on the north, but he just had nothing to defend against those 2 medevacs at home. A couple Banelings, maybe 1 or 2 Queens, I think could have done the job. And if he doesn't lose his main, if he doesn't lose the spawning pool, I think maybe we're looking at a different game, because killing the orbital and killing all those SCVs, that is normally enough damage, I'd say, but yeah, not if you lose everything at home.
Yeah, it's Jaedong in a very difficult spot right now. Of course, was eliminated from WCS and the chance to play at BlizzCon just last week. Is decided to come over here to Stockholm to compete in the DreamHack Open, and if he was to lose in the round of 16, he doesn't get any prize money. He's got a useless 125 WCS points. Be a pretty big loss.
And I mean, even though Jaedong is a veteran and he has so much tournament experience, I still think whenever you lose a game 1 like that, it's frustrating and it bothers you a little bit. It's just like, why did I go for that build? You know, why wouldn't I just play normal? I play against the Bio Terran, it's cross-map Iron Fortress. That's like right in his ballpark, right? That's where Jaedong is supposed to still be the one true Dong. That's where he's supposed to excel. And now he just kind of gave it to Reality. In the next map, it's probably not going to be any easier.
Yeah, and also Reality's got a bit of a sniff on what Jaedong's style or approach to this series could be in terms of aggression. So it's a great start for Reality as he gets 1 step closer to representing Nathanius in Terran through to the next round. Of course, winning this would get to the quarterfinals and play on the big stage here at DreamHack Open. Be a wonderful achievement for him.
Who does the winner of this series play? Do you know off the top of your head?
Dark, probably. I think Dark and Hyun is the other game in this side of the bracket. And then if Dark beats Hyun, it would be Dark or Hyun.
No, Hyun is already... Oh, Sean already made it to the
Dark
next
is
round.
playing Leenock, sorry.
Oh, okay,
Dark
Leenock.
and Leenock.
All right.
Sorry, yeah, I had a Zerg, but Dark and Leenock.
Well, okay, that's not going to be easy, but maybe if Reality's TvZ is just out of this world good. I mean, it's very hard for us to call. Normally we know the guys that we're casting, but
Yeah.
like you said, we just haven't seen a whole lot of Reality, and he doesn't exactly stream or something either, so it's very hard to put him in a certain group of players, how good he truly is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that looked very good what he did over there in game number 1.
Yeah, it was solid.
It wasn't even that he was like really hanging in there. Of course, he lost a lot at the third base because he didn't have a lot. But those Widow Mines blowing up all those banelings, that helped. And I think the best thing about it was that his decision making was very decisive. He could have panicked and pulled those medevacs back, but he said no. If you have everything over here, you probably have very little at home. And he was correct.
And when you're correct, Roddy, it means you're going to win. And he did.
Hashtag reality correct.
Hashtag Roddy in the club.
No.
Up here to the top left-hand side is the Red Zerg player, of course. It's Jaedong, playing for Team Evil Geniuses.
Could you say that Jaedong just had a reality check? Wow. How bad was it?
That was pretty good,
Yeah?
man. That was good, man. That was really good. That was good.
I'm just trying to take the title of worst spawn of the day.
Yeah, probably worst. Someone's got the best who thinks he has his Todd. Down here, of course, in the blue is Reality.
Did look very good there. Man, it's a super fun net cafe to play. Like, if you're ever in Stockholm as a tourist, I definitely recommend checking out Inferno Online. Go there on a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday evening, and it's just an awesome place, you know, to play some games, meet people of your age, and then after that, you can always go somewhere else. You know, maybe the club, as you would say, Sean. But it's a very fun place.
Just keen. Of course, I mean, you know, you could go home, you go get a sandwich or some food, but no, just go to the club.
Hatch first again for Jaedong over here. Well, it seems like Reality is again going for Command Center first as well. Why not? It worked very well for him on Iron Fortress. Of course, that's a 4-player map. It's a tiny bit risky to do it in a 2-player map, especially with your Command Center on the low ground. But Reality is not worried at all. And why would you be, Sean?
He's not. There's no reason for him to be. This version of the monster drink, by the way, is actually really nice.
Yep, the Valentino Rossi one. That's when you know you've made it, Sean. Like, one day I hope I can find a monster can, which is just named after you.
It's got along the rim at the top. It's like hashtag Roddy in the club, like all around. And then you know you've made it, man.
That would be cool. I'm not going to lie.
Jaedong pokes in with his overlord, sees the barracks late, and knows that he has Command Center first down here. He's even going to see it with the overlord as well. Going to go around the back and hide that and poke in a bit later to see what the follow-up is going to be.
Alright, so kind of expecting a quicker 3-hatch style from Jaedong over here. Maybe he opens up 2-base Muda again, because it has seemed to be, or it seems to be the flavor of the month in this matchup for a lot of these Korean Zergs. But I wouldn't mind to see him drop those Evo Chambers a lot quicker and prioritize upgrades at first. Just defend with Queens and Lings and let those Mutalisks make their first appearance a little bit later, but at least have a lot more units to run around with.
I had a really funny tweet, man.
Funny
Some
tweet?
guy tried to take a bad pun. You want me to read it to you?
Yeah,
That
why
was
not?
getting us underway.
Alright.
It was from TKL StarCraft.
Yes.
You guys haven't seen a lot of Reality because you were in a game of fantasy.
Oh.
Hashtag team bad puns.
Wow. I'm very glad that somebody took the worst pun of the day. Thank you very much.
That was a cool tweet.
So now Todd and me don't have to sweat it anymore. That's great. That's actually a pretty cool tweet.
That was a funny tweet.
I wonder if his game was broadcasted of the previous round.
It might have been. TKL is French. Todd apparently knows you. Todd says hi. 2 Zerglings poke in, and they're going to get a Marine kill.
Todd says bonjour.
Bonjour. And that is the only Marine, by the way, so there is actually no defense currently.
You know what he
the
could have
other
done
Marines
there?
sorry.
That one SCV could have killed that one Ling and then finish up the bunker and hop into the bunker. That would have been a very effective way
That
of
would have been
doing
a
all
Roddy
this.
move. If you played Terran, that would have been a Roddy move.
I think if I had played Terran, you would have never heard of me, Sean, because I'd be so low ranked that I don't think I would be allowed to commentate anything.
Pretty fast layer coming out here from JD once again.
Yep.
Only working off a single gas currently. Going to start to take a couple more shortly to bring in that gas and we'll see where he goes here. Of course, 2-base Spire is the usual go-to.
Yeah, no super quick third command center in this game for Reality, so he could be much more committed to doing some aggression. Could be a lot of Hellions, could be maybe some Marines in the main with a medevac and Hellions in the natural.
Right.
Because he's still staying on this 2 command center build for now. Could potentially still be in a Banshee too, but since he doesn't have a tech lab yet, I'm kind of expecting just Marines and Hellions.
That's what it seems to be currently. Hellion's going to poke out now and start to feel this game out a little bit. Reality's got to do some scouting.
Hellbats, Armory going down.
Hellbats, boys. Pretty good against a fast layer here, because with a fast layer, it means you're looking to tech up towards something. It is going to be 2-base spy, and that's going to not be in use by the time these Hellbats are ready. So this could be a very fast game here for Reality, a very fast win.
Yeah, it's very important that Jaedong picks up on this so he can maybe squeeze out an extra queen or two, because with this build,
queens.
With this build, of course, in general, you don't have a whole lot of larva to work with. Jaedong did do a very good job in droning up as quick as possible. Yeah, he went up to 46 drones at rapid speed, so now he can actually use all the larvae he has to morph into Zerglings.
Is he going to see it in time? Because look, it's almost ready. The Medivac's on its way. The armory's finished. The Hellions are there.
Needs queens. He really needs some extra queens, because just Lynx against Hellbats is going to be very, very rough for Jaedong.
Oh, man. He goes in. He's like, all right, where has he got? Okay, that's pretty normal. I'm going to guess.
Oh, he hasn't seen the armory like Fontaine. Oh, my God.
So here he now sees it for the very first time. There's 3 queens and a bunch of Lynx.
I'm very worried for Jaedong. If he had 5 queens over here, I think he could micro his way out of this, but right now he needs a perfect surround. He needs a perfect engagement.
And the Lynx are popping from the natural, and they get absolutely toasted before they can do anything. Here comes the surround, but as you can see, Hellbats are good. 3 queens come down to help defend it. The Hellbats are getting low with the Medivac gone. Is Jaedong going to have enough? There's so many Hellbats left over, and there's a lot of damage here. And as you can see, the Spire completely useless in this game.
And he used all the money he has to build Zerglings as well. So now only 2 Mulists go on the way. It's going to take forever for 2 Mulists to clean up these Hellbats. Slowly but steady, 1 or 2 Hellbats will fall. But that's just going to be it. Wow, Reality.
Terran goes through. Last remaining Terran fights it. And he beats Jaedong 2-0.
Oh, man.
Nice and easy for him, too. I didn't expect the series to be that easy, that clean.
Me neither. Especially at game number 2. That's a very disappointing game for Jaedong.
Oh, man.
It's just one of those moments where you may be perhaps on autopilot just a little too much, and you're not expecting anything too crazy, and then suddenly it's like, knock, knock, who's there? Well, 7 Hellbats. And all you have is a couple of Lynx. If Jaedong has 1 Spine Crawler, if he has 2 extra queens, then that's all manageable, right? Because then the Hellbats have to choose. Are they going to go for the queens or for the spine? But if it's just Lynx, like, well, if there's one moment you're engaged, you kind of need to kill all the Hellbats immediately, and if you don't, it's the beginning of the end. And
it's crazy. I mean, Jaedong's been on a very difficult set of tournaments for a while now, and it's difficult for him for sure, but Reality gets the top 8 here at DreamHack. It's a fantastic result for him. He's going to be playing on stage tomorrow, and he's going to continue to carry the Terran flag through.
Last Terran alive, and his TvZ seems to be on point, and there are a lot of Zergs in this tournament, especially on his side of the bracket. Like the scariest Protoses are on the other sides, I believe, you know, where SOS is and stuff.
And the way that the series was, he didn't really show too much that the other Zergs can pick up on. I mean, the way that the first series played, it was Jaedong who went for that attack and a deflection, and then this game was just over before it begun. So really, really good start here for Reality getting into the bracket.
Also, it pains me to see Jaedong just leave even before the drones die and stuff. Like, I know that's an unsolvable situation, and it's going to be very rough with your Zerg, and you've got a bunch of Hellbats in your base, but most of the time, you know, with tournament live on the line, they will still try. They will still try to run those drones around until you have a couple Mutalisks out. And once again, I know that game is like 99.9% over, but it would have been nice to see him at least try to clean it up.
So definitely a bit of an underwhelming series overall, to be honest. I thought that'd be a little bit better than it was. Our next series is going to be SOS versus Hearthstone, as SOS continues to fight for his chance to keep inside the top 16, and he could get ruined here. He could.
I mean, Hearthstone did it before, being the last foreigner at the DreamHack, and right now there are only 3 foreigners remaining. Sero is one of them, Hearthstone is one of them, and Snoot is one of them.
But SOS just took the hype train from Korea in the playoffs in the Pro League over here after his
even
reverse
before that
kill.
In Seattle as well, he was on fire at the MSI Masters Gaming Arena. I think he dropped 1 map in the entire tournament. He just steamrolled everybody. So SOS definitely an overwhelming favorite in that series, but you know, I wouldn't be Dutch if I won't believe in my boys. So a little bit of Dutch bias, and I hope Hearthstone puts up a very good fight.
Yeah, so it's a best of 3. Anything can happen in a PvP. The winner's interview is just around the corner. I imagine we'll be having that with In Control and Reality very, very shortly.
Yeah, I'm actually very curious to see what he says, because I almost never see him give an interview, and I kind of wonder what he has to say about that series. You know, Jeff will probably ask the hashtag hard-hitting questions. So
Jeff is a hashtag hard-hitting person, so I hope he does bring the tough questions to this interview. He's been doing a great job so far. We do miss you, Jeff, because he's the Inferno Online around the corner. Well, not really around the corner. It's more like a 5-10 minute drive, but it feels, this event, especially because in the location we are, feels a little bit like that DreamHack Moscow we had a year ago, so where Smix was in Moscow by herself, and she was just on her laptop on Skype just talking with us from Moscow. And Jeff's got that similar feeling today. We just haven't seen him all day.
He will be reunited with us tomorrow, so that's all.
Yeah,
that
he gets to
matters.
hang out with us tomorrow
When we go to the big arena. It's going to be awesome, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy for all the Terran fans out there, because there will always be StarCraft fans, you know, coming out to the event, and you know, 33% of the audience will most likely play Terran. So if we wouldn't have a single Terran, that would be kind of sad.
Well, I think the odds is usually a bit more skewed.
Yeah, like
I would say.
28% is Terran, right?
No, definitely way more.
More?
Oh, absolutely. Have you not been to these events, dude?
Oh, I mean, there's a difference between what people play and what people love.
No,
right?
there's like 45% a Zerg, there's 45% Terran,
Yeah.
and there's always the 10% Protoss players.
No, I feel
that
like a
turn
lot
up.
of Protoss players are just ashamed to admit the fact that they play Protoss. You know, they go to the event, it's like, yeah, man, like those bloody Protosses.
And they're actually
and then you
Protoss
check
players
their
themselves.
account, and they've got like 900 games, average game length like 8 minutes. You know, it's like
I know
dirty
you
Protoss.
guys, dirty pro. You're a dirty Protoss. Just admit it, man. You've got to come out.
Average workers created 37. It's like, I know your
I
type.
know exactly what you do when you play at home. It looks like the interview is ready. So in control, you're another dirty Protoss.
All right, what's going on, guys? I'm standing here with Reality, who just 2-0'd Jaedong in the round of 16 to put himself in that Day 2 tournament where we'll see him on the big stage. He is the last remaining Terran player, so I want to kind of ask him about the state of Terran right now. So, Reality, what do you think about Terran? You're the only one left out of all the guys here. Is that kind of just the luck of the draw, or is it hard for Terran right now?
일단 뭐 태태전은 딱히 생각을 안 하고 있고 저는 프로토스 말고 저그만 있으면은 그걸로 된 것 같아요. 테란이랑 상관없이 테란 떠난 거는 좀 아쉽긴 하지만 같이 공유할 테란들이 없어서. 네.
So I'm the only Terran left, so it's only Zerg and Protoss. So I think I feel quite confident against Protoss and Zerg, so I feel quite good.
Okay, speaking of the matchups coming up, he does have either Leonok or Dark, both very strong Zergs. Dark in particular, I believe, hunting for a BlizzCon position, if I'm still updated on that. Who would you rather play, and which one do you think is the more scary Zerg?
그래서 이제 리넉이랑 여기 둘 남았는데 둘 중에서 누가 가장 어려운 상대일 것 같은지.
그냥 개인적으로 일단 박명우 선수가 아마 최근에 보여준 경기력으로 봤을 때 테란전 굉장히 잘하는 것 같아서 만약에 올라오게 된다면 다크 선수가 제일 더 까다로울 것 같아요.
So I think Dark, he's been playing quite very well lately, so I think Dark will be a quite hard opponent.
Okay, and I think last but not least, it's really cool, but it's kind of unusual to see so many Koreans over here at DreamHack Stockholm, kind of late in the season. So I'm just wondering if there's any particular reason you were sent to DreamHack Stockholm, if there's anything you're looking forward to, or if you like traveling as much as you are.
네, 그래서 이제 드림핵 소콜로 오셨는데요. 혹시 다음 드림핵이라든지 여기 이렇게 여행하시면서 느끼신 점은 이제 다 앞으로 더 하고 싶은 점?
네, 일단 저번에 제가 다른 대회를 갔을 때는 그냥 뭔가 편안한 분위기에서 하는 그거였다면 이번에는 진정한 대회로서의 의미를 가진 대회 같고 그리고 앞으로 이런 기회가 자주 오게 된다면 아마 자주 오게 될 것 같아요.
Yeah, so the last competition I was at, that was quite relaxed and chill. Compared to DreamHack, I feel that this one is more like a competitive competition where I have to work a bit harder. So I would like to get a lot of more opportunities to join these kind of competitions.
Well, that's awesome to hear. You're doing really well. Thank you so much, and good luck in the next round. Guys, it's going to do it for us from here, so we're going to go back to a commercial break. When we come back, I believe we're going to hear some words from the boys over at the desk from DreamHack Stockholm. Thank you.